All right. Glad you made it back. All right. Let's continue. Okay.
And there's so many things now for an artist or a public figure to deal with simultaneously. But I love how you seem to be reactive, you know, with you're dropping singles instead of albums, and you're able to almost morph your story as you go.
Yeah, I was a pro wrestler for like a long time before I was a musician, and at its essence, like pro wrestling is about telling stories, and it's always about good and evil. And the most accurate way to tell the story is to read the room. So you don't choreograph an entire match backstage with your buddy and then go out and execute the match in front of 400 people, because that's like, if you create the whole thing and then you go out into the ring to perform it to this audience, and you get partway through the match and you get partway through the story of the match, and the people are not engaging, or the people are not joining you for that ride, and they're sitting on their hands and not making any noise, but now you're locked in because you've choreographed this entire match, then everybody has to sit around and just kind of suffer through whatever you're doing. Whereas if you go into a match with very little things choreographed, which is the best way to do it, you talk to your guy backstage.
I'm sure by doing that, it'll look generally more realistic to the crowd. So, yeah, dude, I would love to see the answer to this question. This question looks like a one that will actually show the most about who he is internally, if that makes any sense. All right, let's get it.
Okay, cool. Like, this is what I was thinking we'd start with. Then we'll go into the shine. Then we'll go on into some heat, the hot comeback. This is the finish. This is the spot where I'm going to get the pinfall. Cool. You know your starting position. You know your ending position. Now you can tell the story in a way that will engage the people around you. Okay? So that's kind of how I see making music.
That's genius. If he is legitimately using his past as a wrestler, like in terms of like how the entire play is played out within his music, then dude, that's genius, dude. That's genius.
Music. If I make an entire album that's true to me right now and relevant to the times that are right now, and then that album doesn't come out for 6 months, how engaging could that be to your audience?
Yeah, not very.
It makes a lot more sense to me to be like, here's this single, this is really relevant to what's going on right now, this is who I am and how I feel right now, this is my observations of the world right now. A few weeks later, another one, and the whole time you're keeping your finger to the pulse and you're reading the room and saying, okay, what is the next logical piece of this story? What's the next chapter in this book? And you're seeing how people are reacting and how they're digesting what you're doing. And that is inspiring you to...
Like when I first listened to Tom MacDonald, I immediately was like, every single song is like a chapter in a book, okay? Without a doubt, dude. So like, if that's how he's living his life, then or even creating his or curating his catalog, dude, great man, dude. Because yeah, that's probably the best way to make it so. You have no filler on your album, right? Albums generate filler the way mainstream artists do it, and the fact that he's actually doing single by single by single based off of what's actually happening right now. By the time his album is actually complete, his catalog is complete. Dude, the album is going to be fire, which is probably the reason why everyone is like, you need to go listen to his album. I will, dudes. I will. All right, let's get it.
And how I feel right now. This is my observations of the world right now. A few weeks later, another one. And the whole time you're keeping your finger to the pulse and you're reading the room and saying, okay, what is the next logical piece of this story? What's the next chapter in this book? And you're seeing how people are reacting and how they're digesting what you're doing. And that is inspiring you to change the ideas you have and make them more digestible. And then once you've, put out 10 singles and 10 videos, you're like, cool, now it's album time. I'm going to write the next 10 songs. I'm going to drop a 20-song album. 4 weeks from now, everything's relevant, everything's fresh, everybody's engaged, they're enjoying the story that I'm telling. It's still real and true and relevant to me. And
dude, what video is that? I've never seen this. What video is this?
That's really the psychology behind it.
This is what I think you've mastered better than anyone. And I should have known better, but I didn't think it was wrestling that taught you all this. But it's your navigation of the internet and your reactiveness, I think, is the magic that you have that I've never seen I've never seen this done before. So kudos to you. And I was going to ask you, like, you're obviously super educated, a super insightful guy. Is it wrestling that you, or do you study after, like, when you're not making music? Like, where do you get it from?
I think like a lot of that probably comes from my parents, you know, neither of which are scholars by any stretch, but both, you know, really level-headed, really hardworking, really smart people. My mom is really like life smart, and I think my dad is, he's gonna get beat up for saying this. Like, my mom's gonna kick his butt, but I think my dad reads a lot of books, so I think that he's a little more refined in his knowledge. But they're both very smart people, and they, you know, obviously that's in my DNA, so that doesn't hurt. But I read a lot on the internet. I watch a lot of videos. I research a lot of stuff. Like, not a wide variety of topics, to be completely honest, like things that are relevant to me, like mental health and sobriety. And I used to, for many years, like, I was really into like science, and I would download like theoretical physics textbooks on my iPad and just read like lessons.
What's funny is, if you were to look at my books catalog, on my iPad, right? My books library, on my iPad, it is full of like the most ridiculous topics that make no sense or have no value to actually like going through your day. So I agree with you completely, dude. I have read multiple textbooks for no reason, bro. All right, just because I was bored. Let's get it.
And different stuff in the theoretical physics textbooks and stuff like that. So it's weird, dude. Like, I don't think that I'm especially intelligent or insightful. Like, when I end up on some of these, because I'm making songs like Fake Woke that are politically charged, I tend to end up on a lot of like political podcasts or like the news or something, and I'm listening to these people speak, and I'm just like, I am so unqualified to be here having this conversation with these people. Like, it's crazy. But I'm glad I come off that way. Yeah,
no, well, I've interviewed a lot of like Lil Xans and Lil Pumps, and so it's funny for me to be like, oh my God, this guy's in a different level.
Shots fired.
I think the contrast just exists because
Wait, hold on. Didn't Lil Pump drop out of Harvard to save hip hop? Dude.
I'm not brain dead from eating 13 Xanax a day, so.
Tell me about sobriety. So I've like dabbled with sobriety. I've only made it like 2 or 3 months max, but I do find myself a lot sharper when I'm not, drinking or smoking or whatever. How long have you been sober?
That's kind of like a big misconception to people, that they think that I've been like totally sober for like a long period of time, and it's just like, I think it's because I've made the song sober and I talk about not drinking and stuff a lot, but like I drank like it was my job for like 10 years. I had partying every day and blah, blah, blah. I had a mental breakdown. I quit smoking. I quit drinking. I quit partying. I quit coffee. I quit soda. I quit junk food. I quit fast food. I quit everything all at once because like literally like I was dying, dude. Like it was really bad, bro. Like I called and left a real scary voicemail on my parents' phone one day. And then for 2 weeks, I was living in a basement suite alone in Vancouver, and I was just in terrible mental anguish, and I couldn't leave the house, and I couldn't do anything. Like, and I was gagging, like I couldn't eat, I couldn't sleep, like I was cutting up one egg and one piece of toast and trying to eat one egg and one piece of toast every day. And I was like literally gagging and throwing up as I was eating because I was that anxious. Like it was really weird. And I lay in bed with my laptop on and the podcast playing on my phone because I could not sit in silence. Like I was just totally scrambled. I remember what was on my laptop, and it was always Jimmy Fallon because it was mindless noise. It was something that I didn't have to think about. So I just needed clutter because I could not sit in silence by myself.
Damn, dude.
So that went on for 2 weeks. My parents saw that going to a really bad place. So they paid a friend, or they didn't pay, they asked a friend of mine to come break into my house, pack my bags, drive me to the airport, put me on a plane and send me back to Edmonton. So I went back to Edmonton. I lived with my mom for 9 months, excruciating months, not because of my mother, but because anxiety and depression were just like, I was floored. And I wasn't speaking, I wasn't eating, I wasn't sleeping, wasn't making music. I was just literally laying on the couch all day. I said 4 words to my mom every day. She'd wake up and say, how are you doing? I'd say, not good. She'd get home from work and say, how are you doing? And I'd say, not good. And that was it for 9 months. And then because of that situation, I had quit all stimulants, drinking, weed, coffee, soda, food, blah, 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 blah. And I had started meditating and started reading and started researching what I was going through and exercising and blah, blah, blah. So eventually my visa gets approved. I'm going back to the United States. My dad says he's watched me go through all this stuff for like the last 10 months. And my dad's like my best friend. And I know he didn't say it, but he was terrified for me. I know he was. And I remember shaking his hand before he dropped me off at the airport and said, you got one job when you go to the United States. All you gotta do is live up to your potential. That's it. So I came here. There has been a few times where for celebratory reasons, I had a beer or I had a glass of champagne or something like that.
I think that if I get that when you're like kind of getting over an addiction in terms of this, you have to basically stop everything. But see, I don't honestly know. My only real addiction is like nicotine, basically. So I don't really know if you can like occasionally dabble in, like drink a beer, like if you just want a beer. I don't know. But I would think that that's probably not a very good idea if you are like severely addicted or your body at one time has become dependent on alcohol. Damn, dude. But I understand that it's addiction is a disease, right? So, dude, let's get it.
But it's been like a handful of times. Like last year, in the entire year, I probably drank like 7 beers. So I'm not like the type of person that I can't have, if I have one drink, I'm going to totally go off the rocker and my life's ruined type of thing. Like, I almost died from what I was doing, and like that was enough for me. I contemplated killing myself every day for 9 months. So that was enough for me to learn my lesson. I don't like have any desire to drink anymore. I don't have one beer and then feel like I need more. So it's probably been since I had my last drink, currently right now, probably like 8 months. And it's like not something that I'm actively trying to stay away from.
They give away.
It is.
They give away chips for way less than that. So I think you're in the clear, my friend.
Yeah. So it's weird, man. Some people
good job,
need those
dude.
chips.
Good job.
Some people need to go to meetings. Some people need to go to rehab. I'm a firm believer in the best way to quit doing something is to do it so much that it almost kills you. You'll learn your lesson that way.
All right, in the odd event that you catch this man out and he's celebrating a big win, and he may or may not have a beer in his hand. Go easy on him. He's worked long and hard to get to where he is, and he ain't gonna go off the rails anytime soon.
Why is my stepmom so obsessed with that zucchini?
What? What is this commercial, bro?
I love it. How did you know my favorite color?
What is this? What is this?
Listen.
Nope. I don't know what that is, bro.
I just got a few more questions we have from some fans, and then I think we can wrap this up.
Sure.
Listen, that commercial, whatever the ad was, bro. Oh my God. Okay. I'm sure you guys will get it in the comments, bro. That shit was weird, bro. Okay. Let's get it. Fan questions.
I just got a few more questions we have from some fans, and then I think we can wrap this up.
Sure.
Dirks by Daylight, he asked, Tom, why does he always post the songs on YouTube with the swear words removed?
2 reasons. A lot of people, a lot of my fans, I get messages all the time from mothers and fathers who say, oh, got a alarm going off. From mothers and fathers who say, I listen to your music with my kids, whole family loves your music, stuff like that. I've had parents come to shows with their kids. I like specifically remember this one dad who came up and shook my hand and said, man, I just want to thank you. My boys are 15 and 16 years old now, and they're reaching that point where they don't really want to hang out with mom and dad anymore, and they don't think it's cool. And your music has given us an opportunity to like bond as a family, and we're all here to see you tonight together. And this is the first time that I've been able to hang out with my boys in months. So, so it's for that, because I've done it, and I've also done a lot of songs like Buttholes and I'm Corny and Everybody Hates Me, and kids really like those songs.
I keep hearing like something ringing, but nothing is ringing, dude.
And parents send me videos of their kids dancing to them and stuff like that. So I don't want to just be too vulgar on the internet and sort of alienate those kids and their parents, and you know, just make it weird. And then also, like, if I want to promote my song on YouTube, they don't allow cussing to be in any of their songs. So as sort of like preemptively, as proactively, I censor the songs just for the music videos on YouTube. But you know, 99% of the time they deny my songs for advertisement anyway. And like, it's weird. Like when I make a song that's politically charged, they'll deny it for shocking content, or they'll deny it for like something sexually explicit, or they'll deny it for like tobacco and alcohol use. And none of these things are happening in the video, but that's what they're citing as the reasons to not allow me to promote. And it's funny, if you go like most...
See, this is something I want to point out here, right? People are like, you're doing Tom MacDonald videos for like money. Bro, be fully aware. Be fully aware. All of the music videos that I've, all of the reactions that I have done for Tom MacDonald, they don't pay anything. Okay? I'm doing this because I actually love Tom MacDonald's music, bro. All right? So let's be honest for a second, all right? So yeah, dude.
Commonly I'm denied for quote unquote shocking content. And if you read the community standard or the term and condition of what shocking content is, it is such a generalized explanation of what the definition of shocking content is, which is they use very broad terms and bland language on purpose so that they can personally interpret it how they want and sort of contextualize it in a way that will allow them to police your content. Yeah. And it's done on purpose that way. So just proactively, that's why I censor the songs, and also, like I said, about the kids and the families and stuff. So
I get it. I knew that when I was asking. Just kids, the radio used to cut out the curse words when we were growing up, so now it's just YouTube, and you end up doing it yourself.
That's it. That's it.
Ozzy Martinez 95. Ask Tom what was his past like and how does he learn to overcome it, and what got him in the music industry, and what his secret is to be an artist. It's a big one.
Work hard.
It's loaded.
I got an easy answer for you. Why don't they watch your Before They're Famous? We cover a lot of it there.
Before you were famous. So I'll answer just like the last one because I think we've covered most of that other ground earlier on in this interview anyway. And like you said in the Before They Were Famous, but I have a lot of people ask me that all the time, especially other artists and other musicians. So people know my story about the Tupac CD and stuff like that, but it just makes me think, if this kid's an artist or there's another artist out there who are maybe asking that question, oh, how did you become an artist? Because they're looking for some form of advice or confirmation that they can move forward with in their own career. I just want to say this. I made music for a long time about the same stuff that everybody else makes music about.
And he didn't stand out. And he did not stand out at all, right? Until he started making things that were against like everything that everyone else was doing. And there you go. Stand out. That's the only way to succeed in life, honestly. So mainly in America, right? Because like we're all drones, right? Everyone is always doing the same thing. The only way to stand out is to go against that grain and succeed. Honestly, that's the advice I would personally give. But let's go.
Clothes and the girls and the cars and the guns and the drugs and the money and all that nonsense. The world does not need more songs about these things. When I sit down to write a song, if I feel like that song's been done before or done better than I'm doing it, or that song doesn't need to exist, I don't write it. The reason why I talked about those things in my early music was because I wanted to be the cool rapper guy. So I talked about all the things that all the other cool rapper guys were talking about. Nobody wants to hear you tell somebody else's story. If you work at 7-Eleven, rap about that. If you walk dogs, rap about that. If you fix refrigerators for a living, rap about that. Rap about what you know. People gravitate towards what is authentic and what is genuine. People move towards the truth. So be that, and that one thing will take you further in your career than any manager, record label, PR stunt, marketing, etc.
Well, there you go. That's probably the best advice I've heard from a guy who's clearly doing it all right now himself. Tom MacDonald, thank you so much for giving us your time, bro. Right in the middle of so much happening. We're very much thankful that you opened up and told us all this stuff. We'll probably be following your career for many years to come and updating your videos with some of this information. Thank you again, my friend. Anything else?
It was a total pleasure, brother. And I know it's cliche, but I sign off every interview, especially ones that my fans are listening to with this. Tough times don't last. Tough people do. We are going through hell right now, socially, economically, and politically, but even the bumpiest roads eventually run smooth. So everybody just hang in there, and I will too. Love you all tons. It's Hangover Gang forever.
Love it. Thanks a lot, bro.
Yeah, dude. This is Tom MacDonald. He's real. It's pretty obvious with like when he speaks that he is nothing but authentic. His music is amazing. And yeah, dude, amazing content that he produces consistently. Nova is an amazing girlfriend of his. Yes. And the whole team just produces just craziness, bros. All right. All right, dudes. So you guys have an amazing day. If there's anything that you want me to hear from him, just leave it in the comments and I'll get to it as soon as I possibly can, okay? Enjoy your day, all right?
Say